idiots! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. We're jumping straight in. No big screen because I forgot. And you know what? Screw it anyways. We're going to react to your favorite topic, the portal. That's right. Now, I did do a react to Scarrow's video about his thoughts on the portal, except it ended up being an hour recording of me just ranting about the portal with Scarrow just mixed in. And so I feel like it didn't do justice. The fact that it wasn't even a react, it might as well, I could have just edited out Scarrow and it would have been its own video. And instead of releasing that, I'm going to react to what could be fixed. I want to see the viewpoint of what can be fixed about the portal. I will do a video about what I think about needs to happen to the portal. That could be its own video. But overall, we're going to react to what Llama has said in the video. I've not watched it, but they have given some interesting like visuals, and I've seen them on Twitter talking about how they spent a lot of time and some money for visuals. So I'm interested to see what the solution is to Bungie.
The portal is quite possibly the most divisive restructuring of Destiny 2 that has ever occurred.
I don't think it's even controversial. I think it's mostly negative. And based on the player count, I think that is a fair statement.
In the entire history of the game. Never has there been a time where the game has been so dramatically shaken up, causing immense outcry of community feedback and frankly resentment to a newly added feature. And while yes, as of the writing of this script, the portal has received its fair share of improvements, it still has a long way to go before its intended purpose is made manifest. And spoiler alert, the portal isn't going anywhere. It's likely that it has been in development for years at the very least, because we first
I'm going to say it now. They need to get rid of it.
Heard of it during this article from the 9th of September 2024. The portal will continue to be a part of the game whether you like it or not. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is doomed as
I don't like that statement. Whether you like it or not, it's staying. No, that's not how that works. I don't like this mindset that whether you like it or not. No. It's whether fucking Bungie wants to continue having a player base or not. That's the determinant. Again, I right off the rip, I already disagree with this video. The premise that you have to like it or fuck off. Oh, I think it's more of Bungie needs to cater to what the people want, or they can fuck off.
As a result. That said, the portal in its current iteration has, in all honesty, damaged the game, or at least a large portion of it. Despite this though, the portal itself isn't a bad idea. In fact, I think it's a great idea, if executed correctly, which is the key distinction to what we're dealing with currently. So today, my aim is to show you my proposed rework of how it can be best utilized to improve the game rather than hinder it, because I believe it truly can achieve this given time. In today's video, not only
again, that's another thing, given time. I don't think Destiny 2 has time. This should have been something that was a slow rollout. That's my general statement here, is that people are like, it's going to be great, given time. We heard that in Lightfall. Guys, we're going to make improvements. And it's taken multiple years. Like, it's almost, it's funny. It's almost like we're having the same fucking conversation about Destiny 2 launch. People said the same shit about Destiny 2 at launch, that they're going to roll things out, they're going to fix things, guys. Forsaken's going to like, we're going to make all these changes. Like, we've been here. And the difference between Forsaken and for what we're talking about today is that we're not talking about a new game. We're not talking about a fresh game. This game has been around for a long fucking time. Like, there is no, like, how many chances do we need to give? Thirds, fourths, fifth chances. The premise of this argument that they just need time, Bungie doesn't have time. And I'm gonna go immediately to this right here. They don't have time. There is no time. They need to make immediate changes. And the best way to do it is to revert the most recent change. Get rid of that shit. Get rid of it. That's all. I'm going to be beating a dead horse. But the whole premise of they have to do this, nah.
Not only am I going to explain my ideas, but also show them to you with the aid of several custom illustrations created by the wonderful Court Projects, who is seriously talented. Together, we have gone all out and created a full restructuring of the entire Portal experience, from the
That's crazy. You put more effort into the game than Bungie did.
main menu, new categories and sub-menus, UI overhauls, and much more. What you're seeing is just a teaser of what's in store, so please make sure to show Court some love as well, as some of these pieces are truly impressive. Furthermore, big videos like these take quite a lot of time and effort to theorize, record, illustrate, edit, all the works. In fact, it has taken us around
I know I'm pausing quite a bit at the beginning, but just a reference, whether I agree or disagree, the time and effort went into this video, give it a like. Like, whether you disagree or not, like, effort, like, when I am my own editor and making my own shit, it is not easy. And the fact that I wasn't joking, when he has put more effort, they put more effort into this video than Bungie has put into the game, let's be honest.
2 weeks to put this all together. So if you end up strongly resonating with today's content and want to support the channel so we can continue to make more of these high production projects in the future, consider leaving a super thanks down in the comments below, as both myself and the team would seriously appreciate it.
I won't go that far, though.
Let's begin by discussing what the Portal is currently and why it is bad. Right now, the Portal is the main way to engage with the game. Any activity that's present within the Portal can be played to earn gear and progress your character's level, including the new destination from the Edge of Fate, Kepler. Portal activities are also the only way to obtain weapons and armor that are part of the new tier system. So basically, if you find an activity that isn't in the Portal, such as nightmare hunts on the moon, playing this activity will not offer tiered rewards or allow said rewards to offer a power increase. Only activities that are exclusively in the Portal fit this criteria. More generally, the Portal is also a way for older seasonal content which was previously removed to rotate back into the game permanently. Examples include the Echoes Battlegrounds, Plunder.
People keep using this as why the Portal's a good thing. They could just treat that as a seasonal. And like, I think a good example, and they may even mention this, is like, I'll use the example, the Seraph weapons. They got multiple updates. Like, there was like 3 iterations of that gun, right? Well, you could do that, but for seasonal activities. Like, we're doing the Season of the Light, just making bullshit up. Season of the Light, and then they bring back Season of the Dawn, right? The activities in the Portal. Like, this is the season, it's in the Portal. You've got this old season, you got the new season, it's in the Portal, and then you have the rest of the game. That would have made sense for the Portal itself. Is like, you could call the Portal the seasonal hub. That's it. But having like even strikes and all this other bullshit, like, strikes should not ever, like, paid content should never rotate out and in and out. And I would even argue previously paid content, like seasonal content, should never go in and out. The free shit, like Reclaim, if you're doing seasons for free, it makes sense. But I stand by business. Anything that's paid should never be on rotation.
Expeditions and Savathûn Spire, to name a few. Lastly, most of the Portal activities feature the brand new activity customization and scoring feature that allow you to tweak with the difficulty of them by adding modifiers, positive or negative, and you're encouraged to play with this system to tailor your activities to your specific needs, with the modifiers you apply heavily influencing the quality of the loot you earn. And that's basically the Portal. So why is this bad? For starters, so much of the rest of the game's content is not in the Portal, including 9 raids and 10 dungeons, and no, the dungeon layers don't count.
No, because they're fucking half-assed.
Majority of the available Nightfall strikes, 21 missing to be exact, Gambit, 5 exotic missions, including Derealize, and fun fact, at time of writing, Barrow Dyad from Episode Heresy is still completely unobtainable.
Really weird.
And other offensives like Dares of Eternity. The aforementioned missing content cannot...
Oh, you don't forget public like lost sectors, though you can still technically theoretically do lost sectors for exotic engrams. The lost sectors, you have public events. You can't forget like overflow events, like Overflow, which is mostly recent. Altars of Sorrow, even though they kind of did it for the holidays, Altars of Sorrows itself has been neglected. Blind Well, the hunts, all the hunts on the moon, the hunts on Europa. Like, there's a bunch of shit. There's a lot of shit That is irrelevant. Actually, I take that back. The hunts on Europa were brought into the portal, like the Technonaut and all that stuff. Like that was, but not the moon. The moon, like nothing from the moon to my acknowledgement outside of K1 logistics was brought. Yes. I think that's true.
Increase your power level as a result, and
and half of duality
is basically entirely irrelevant, and playing it has absolutely no benefit to the reward chase. The armor that drops isn't tiered and uses the old Armor 2.0 system, which is bad. The weapons aren't tiered either, though admittedly they do still retain their value because obviously some guns are still pretty good and enhanceable. Think Velocity Baton or Hezen Vengeance, for example, though
I think Velocity Baton is not nearly as good anymore. And in Heads and Vengeance, it's good, but I think it's lost its value, especially with like apparently cluster grenades get like a massive buff to grenade stats. So like the cluster grenades unironically are kind of back, which is I've been using it with my grenade build for Warlock for fun, but like it's not even the good cycle for it. Like it's been abandoned.
So this is still not ideal. Basically, the first half of the problem boils down to the fact that outside of the portal's limited selection of activities, nothing else in the game matters with regards to increasing your character's level, improving your arsenal, and so on. It's like the portal and the world tab / director are two entirely separate games. Yeah. Because they literally are. Everything you could do before Edge of Fate came out, including grinding weapons and armor, can still be done. You can still get Armor 2.0 if you really want to. You can still get all the old weapons that can be enhanced and so on, which is fine to a degree, but it ultimately...
I don't think there's any reason to go for any of the old weapons or even armor. Like armor's completely pointless except for cosmetic. There's no reason to go on any like Bungie is releasing new weapons that have already replaced majority of old weapons. The only thing that's worth going back some of this old content is if you don't have exotics, and that's it.
Leads to confusion. The second half is to do with how activities in the portal are launched, the ever so tedious modifier selection screen. I'm of the stance that while yes, giving players more agency and freedom to tailor an activity to their specific playstyle and expectations is a good idea in principle, in practice it just straight up doesn't work. It is
in this specific instance, and I said it when I reacted to Scaro's video, which no one got to saw, it's an hour long. This is all fine and dandy. It is all fine and dandy, but this shit on the side, you can't see it because of my webcam. The scoring system needs to fucking go. Loot and shit should be based on just this right here. That's how it used to be. You used to have normal, like advanced, expert, and master, and grandmaster for Nightfalls. Grandmaster would give you adepts, master give you a chance at adepts, everything else was just basic, right? Wait, no, master never gave you adepts. Sorry, it's only grandmaster. Master gave you a higher chance of getting the normal drop, but grandmaster gave you adepts. It was guaranteed drop. This is how this shit should have been. The scoring system needs to get the fuck out. You choose the difficulty, and then this is all just fucking fun. That's right. You want to make it challenging? That is just for you to cater your play style. You want some boons to make it easier? Fucking pop off. Now, what you could do is there's banes, and you could force people to have to choose one bane, one negative modifier, and one positive. You can make that a forced thing that has to happen. You have to have one of three. Like you have to have three of those, one of them, right? And then you can add as many negatives and as many positives afterward. You could do that. But my personal stance is that this is fine. All loot should be based on the difficulty of it. It should not be about score, because when you make it about score, you trivialize every fucking activity, because what happens is people are not going to do the hard shit. They're going to do the easy shit to get the highest power level and to get the easiest fucking loot. We need more vault space. I had to delete it. Well, that's another conversation too. But my general stance is that I like this. I like the customization, except it should be pro-choice and not to get a fucking score that is just awful. This system, it is very, especially when you're doing matchmaking and you do have no control, like on random matchmaking, whether you get a good score or not. It is completely dependent on Bungie and the randomization, because there may be you might never get a good enough score to get like the highest light potential because of Bungie's random bullshit system. It's because of, well, I didn't have enough modifiers. No, matchmaking should be on for everything, and it shouldn't matter. It should be based on difficulty. If I'm playing Ultimate, I should be guaranteed the highest power with the highest potential loot, period. That's my stance. No one's ever going to change my mind. The moment they introduced the score system is what really killed the game.
So tedious to decide which modifiers to use, which ones increase my score, trying to make sure I don't make the activity too hard, while also making sure my projected score stays within the range I want it. And half the time, the scoring system doesn't correctly predict what you're actually going to get anyway.
Exactly.
It just creates so much unnecessary...
That is a good point. And I'm stopping because French Fries makes a great comment. Stakes, boons, etc. also shouldn't be locked behind difficulty. Yeah. There's certain difficulties, like things that you can't have access to into your Ultimate, which makes no sense. Like, the whole point of the portal is to give player agency to let you play how you want. So why is it that I have to wait till later to get access to some cooler mods or even challenges? Like Extinction is only Ultimate. Like, what if I want to do Extinction at Grandmaster or Advanced level? What if I want to make normal harder? Like, you can't do that. And not only that, it's on rotation. So one week you might have a set of mods and surges, and the other week you might have completely different surges and boons and all that stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that it's not all unlocked at one time and you don't have access to it at all times. Like, this whole rotational bullshit is that. It's bullshit.
Thinking when I wish I could just pick an activity, choose between a selection of difficulties like Master, Grandmaster, or Ultimate that I know will guarantee me good rewards, then off I go.
That's it. Exactly. It's preset. Guess what? Deltas exist. So, and you could say the power level allows you to go to the next tier, which they should roll back. You should never go higher. Like, to get access to Ultimate, if you need to be 500 or 450 or whatever bullshit it needs to be, that should be the cap. That's it. You're done. You don't have to go to 550 anymore. It's pointless. It's redundant. There's no reason. Cut that shit out. You get access to Ultimate, and then it's just play. You matchmaking, you get all these pre-randomized stuff. You get a surge, you get a boon, you get all the other bullshit, and then you play the game. You farm the shit.
Minimal clicks, minimal friction. The previous Grandmaster Nightfalls were an excellent example of this, and people loved it. Just one glance at the GM report leaderboards will show you that hundreds of players held this activity so incredibly dear and made it their main way of interacting with the game, which is...
I would play with randoms. In fact, I even had a series where every season, I would go through GMs and I would use the most off-meta builds specifically to help people who don't have the best of the best stuff, to show them, yes, it may not be the fastest, it may not be the greatest farm, but if you're just going to try to complete this, I'm going to show you can use this build that's very basic. Anyone can fucking do it. And GMs, anyone could do it. You just had to have some knowledge, you had to have some confidence, and you just need to have like a feasible build, even if it wasn't meta. And so I enjoyed doing that shit. Like, it was fun. It was enjoyable. It worked. And unfortunately, if it's fun and it works, Bungie has to kill it.
Sadly, now gone. So altogether, the current portal creates a disjointed experience that separates the content that arguably made the game special in the first place from offering any meaningful progression, while also ruining some of the charm the game previously had. Me personally, I don't like being greeted by the portal when I log on. I'd much prefer being greeted with the director just like before. So, how do we begin to fix these problems? Well, first of all, it's important to understand what the philosophy of the portal is, and what exactly it's trying to achieve. So, let's begin with part 1, the philosophy of the portal. My belief is that, at least partially, Bungie envisioned the portal to be a place like the Helm or the Last City that could serve as the main seasonal/weekly hub without having to be an actual physical location that players could visit, and more generally, a nice place to organize current and previous seasonal content that also allows efficient funneling of play.
I'm going to say right now, that was the biggest issue. Are you talking about your sword build? No, I wasn't even talking about sword build. I was talking about like I would use like an Omnioculus Graviton Lance build that wasn't necessarily meta. I would use like a Revision Zero Pulse Rifle build, or like I would use some really off meta stuff. And like it wasn't even using the artifact or none of that. Like I would just completely off meta. I'm gonna just argue. I'm gonna argue. I do not agree. The philosophy itself is the problem.
To organize current and previous seasonal content that also allows efficient funneling of player populations to what's currently relevant and worth playing.
I think that it was a failure in that instance. I do. I really do think the philosophy is a failure.
What the philosophy previous seasonal content that also allows efficient funneling of players serve as the main seasonal/week.
The hub. That's what. Okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought after answering your question. The hub. Here's the deal. I don't think people necessarily had a problem with going to the helm or anything like that. The problem is that they swung the opposite direction. I think the helm and all that was kind of getting redundant, but then they swung too far to the other side, and so it became more Fortnite. And I think that killed the philosophy, killed the game. Like you don't interject menus. It's funny. Bungie's like, we don't like menus. We don't want to turn Destiny into a menu game, and they fucking turned it into a menu game. Like, oh yes, Jim, you did a great job.
And can instead live within the portal forever. Just think how many times the helm got refreshed with new rooms to the left, right, and back year on year with each coming season. And now,
I like this idea though. Like, I don't know. Am I in the wrong here? Like, I thought this was fucking cool because it felt like the world was evolving. It felt like you were connected. Like we went back to Titan. Like we don't even have fucking Titan anymore, but it felt like we were going to the world. It felt like we were connected to the season. Like there was an attachment. There was, talk about, we could shit on all the seasons and like say which ones are bad, which one's good. But the one thing I did appreciate is that they made each season feel relevant in the main hub area. Instead of going to a fucking portal, you went to a destination. You went to a place. Like being able to come to Titan and you see a big ass fish, like damn, that was cool.
Imagine how much simpler that would be to organize with a menu rather than a physical location. So No. It's easier for development. It has nothing to do about player ease of use. Being able to go to a fucking hub has fucking nothing to do with player ease. And the reason people had fucking issue is that you would go back to the portal, or not the portal, the hub over and over and over and over again. I think it should be the destination for vendors and trading and all that shit and whatever else. And then some story bits. But what people didn't like was, all right, you need to go back to the helm to listen to the audio. You need to go back to helm, listen to some audio. Go back to helm, listen to audio. That's the aspect that no one fucking wanted to hear. By the way, the portal didn't solve that problem because seasons just doesn't have. There's no real story outside of the brief bits you get from the activity, the intro mission that you can only play one time per character. I don't remember playing on other characters. And then the exotic mission. That's it. That's the story. There is no like what they did with Edge of Fate, where you get the phone calls on your cell phone, and you're like, "Hey, what's up? You don't get none of that." So like even the problem with having to go back to the helm wouldn't exist because based on how they're doing seasons now, there really isn't much dialogue. Overarching proposition for what the portal should be is this. Rather than the game being playable only through the portal should exclusively serve as an organization hub for seasonal and weekly content, where said content can still be manually accessed from the director, just made easier via the portal. I truly believe that the portal can work really well if
I don't agree. For seasonal shit, maybe. I still don't agree. I think going to these destinations that actually bring life to the season, I think is important. Like, I still don't want menus. I'm sorry, I just don't.
It's treated solely as an organization tool for particularly relevant activities, not as the only avenue to play the game and progress. As a result, the portal and the rest of the game will still remain as separate systems. However, the portal deals only with organization who solely...
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think organization of seasonal content was ever a real problem, though. Like, you just literally went, let's just look at that. Let's just look at it. Seasonal hub, Destiny 2. Let's just Lightfall, seasonal hub. Not interested, AI. Fuck off. I said literally Lightfall. I didn't say fucking, okay. Seasonal, what was it called again? Shit. Okay. Here's a perfect example. So we got Season of the Wish. So this is for the year of Lightfall, right? I use it as a perfect example. Here we have the most recent dungeon, right? There's the most recent dungeon. Then you have, you got here, all they have to do, by the way, if this is confusing to fucking anyone, all you have to label is put a label saying Season of the Deep right here, right? Boom. Here's Season of the Deep right here. Here is Defiance right here. Here's Season of the Wish. I don't know. And they kind of do, like Spirit of Riven, Sonar Station, and then like obviously the War Table. These are the 3 different seasons that were in the year of Lightfall. I don't know how this is fucking confusing. Especially when you see literally it tells you what it is, how many players. Like, you don't need the fucking portal for a system that wasn't fucking broken because it was already in its own slot. The helm was the center point, and you could just make this where people immediately go to. Like, here's your map. You start off at the helm. There's a tab that you put that says the world or like the destinations right here, or it says tower. Like, this is it. You don't fucking need the portal it was fine. Like, nothing was confusing about it. And if there was, you just literally label the shit. Oh, Season of the Deep. It's all in its little box here. Oh, Season of Defiance. It's a little box. Season of the Wish. And it's at the little box. And then you have like the node. You click on the node. You can do the customization. You can do bippity boppity boo. I see you. Like, it is so insane that people are so desperate to try to normalize the fucking portal. Like, guys, we don't need to get rid of it. No, you should get rid of it. Why are we trying to change a system that wasn't fucking broken? This wasn't, out of all the things that people were bitching and complaining about seasons, this wasn't one of them. It wasn't.
Whole purpose is guiding players to what is currently worth playing in that particular week or season. This also means that outside of the portal, you can now play the game and earn power / progress your character through activities that aren't within it. And to communicate this better, we're now moving into part 2 of the rework presentation. Currently, I personally feel the portal UI isn't exactly flattering and could do with some much needed polish. It feels very separate from the beautiful director UI that has greeted us for so many years, and I believe that in order for me to communicate this new vision most effectively, it's time to start flexing some graphics. So let's start at the top with priority number 1, portal access. In my opinion, the director should always be the home screen of the game, and in this vision, it is. But there's just a giant button for the portal right in the middle, as well as Kepler, which really should have been there from the start. So,
true.
Step 1 of the...
First off, we have the Dreadnought. Fucking love that. Like, you beautiful bastard trying to make that its own destination. I love you. The Reef, that just always makes sense. The Eternity is its thing. What else? We have EDZ and Cosmodrome. Like, could we just like, I want this to change. I think the Cosmodrome should be a part, like, it should just merge together and just be called something new. Just call it fucking Earth. Because unless Bungie's going to add anything fucking new to this planet, just call it Earth. Like, do we really need 2 different fucking slots that said Cosmodrome, EDZ? Or could you just put the maps together that you click on nodes within the, like, just Earth?
Overall presentation
because I'm gonna be honest, that is fucking confusing for new players. Like, what the fuck is EDZ? What's the Cosmodrome? You start not Cosmodrome, but you don't even necessarily go to the fucking EDZ.
The director, the default, then have the portal still being obviously there. As you can see here, Kepler fits right in, and there's ample space for other well-known locations like the Dreadnought and even the Reef, as seen in this new vision. Next up, I want to discuss redistributing exactly what's in the portal. As a result of me wanting the portal to be more of a weekly/seasonal hub, there's plenty of activities that are in it that simply don't need to be in there anymore. And because I want a renewed or returned focus to the director, any activity that can appear in the portal will have their nodes moved to their corresponding destinations. For example, consider hovering over the Europa map, panning left, and seeing Solo Ops Creation just chilling there. Or same goes for Savathun Spire on the Throne World next to the Sanctum, Caldera for Kepler right in the middle, and so on.
I agree. This change makes fucking sense. But you don't need the portal for it to exist. It can just exist anyways.
A refreshed director always brings more life into the game, and it would be awesome to see the Dreadnought hanging near Saturn's orbit, allowing you to select things like the Nether, Court of Blades, or the Sunless Cell from within its director menu.
I mean, while you're fucking at it, put the fucking raid in here. Get rid of the Legends tab and just put this shit in here. And just put Venus and make Venus its own slot, just in case in the future. But like this shit, you could just put the raid in here.
The Cosmodrome could also be extended to accommodate the Plague Lands, including all 3 Reclaim variants and the Heliostat exotic mission, and a node for the Reef can be added to accommodate things like Contest of Elders, Kel's Vengeance, or Warden of Nothing. Yeah. It just adds so much more life and vibrance to the game if the director is continually updated. Here's a full shot of...
I'm pausing a lot, but I agree. Like, I don't agree on the portal changes. I think we should get rid of the portal completely, just throw it in the dumpster. However, I completely am on board what he's saying. This is just updating the world. That's it. This is what they should have fucking done. Make the whole world relevant by making all loot relevant. And even if you can't do tiered loot, at least make it where you can either one, A, everything gives you power, or A and B. It does that, but it also gives you the new loot, right? Like if you do the Blind Well, you'll get, power level drop of old loot that's still high level, but it's still the old tier 2.0 loot, right? But then you also get a drop of the new shit. That's just in general from the world drops, right? We're called portals are essentially world drops. Let's be honest. The portal, they took a bunch of world drops and tossed them into it, and that's what it is, right? That's the new world drops. And then you could slowly do rollouts where you slowly update these loopholes with a tier 4, tier 5, all that shit. Like, you can do that, right? But I think the initial fix should be make it all powerful, like you suggested, make it all relevant. That is what they need. This isn't like an option. This needs to happen, and like now.
What it could look like, and at least in my opinion, Kepler fits right in, and so too do the Dreadnought and the Reef. So now that we've kitted out the director, it's time to dive inside the portal and find out what's changed in my new and improved vision. My idea is simple. The new portal screen features 4 activity categories and 4 singular activity nodes, all on the same page, including seasonal, fireteam, pinnacle, and endgame ops categories, then a daily rotating solo op, which could be K1 logistics, Caldera, or new ones, a weekly Grandmaster Nightfall node identical to the previous weekly GM Nightfall consisting of exclusively strikes and battlegrounds, a weekly featured Crucible mode, which could be Mayhem, Countdown, etc., then lastly a node for Gambit. This new
I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off. I like his outlook. I like it. Like the picture and that lot of detail. I think it's fucking ass. This is probably one of the shittiest ideas I have ever fucking seen. And I say this because as a new player, you have all this world, and then you got this. You're like, what? End game? What? Like what? What the fuck is this? What? Like you could literally just have your we had just a seasonal tab that just, or quest or whatever, your dailies. Like it's crazy because if you look at games like Warframe that has like your hub, there's like it tells you the dailies and the dailies or weeklies or whatever shit you could do, and it's on rotation on a time, and it's within your ship. You don't even have to like go do anything fancy to find it. Like you have the Vanguard ops, you have Gambit, you have Crucible, you have Legends, which Legends could be discontinued, honestly, because you could put all of them in their own tabs. Like Crucible, you don't need another fucking spot or rotating Crucible, because that's where Crucible should be. Vanguard, same thing with the Vanguard, like seasonal ops. Sure, if you want to have a seasonal hub, this makes sense. This doesn't make fucking sense because you could literally just show, like, you could highlight the raids or have a specific tab just for raids. Like, I think you need a search feature. You want to know how you fix this? Get rid of this bullshit. Right here, you put a filter feature. You put a fucking filter feature right here. You type in raids, and it's going to highlight it will highlight and black out every world and node and every little thing that doesn't have a raid. And then you could be like, oh, Neptune. Okay. And then you click on the world, it's all black. And then there's a node that says Root of Nightmares. Oh, there's a raid. What? Dreadnought? It has King's Fall. Savathun's Throne? Wow. Vow Disciple. Dreaming City? Oh, wow. Only thing highlighted is Last Wish. Like that alone, it's crazy. A filter system that actually takes what Bungie was trying to do when Edge of Fate launched, which is darken the screen and to make it less confusing. And yet I adapted that nonsensical bullshit, and you can actually make it work with a filter system up top. Just type what you want to find. Like, it's funny because Warframe, you can go to a console and look up any specific mission that you're looking for, where to find specific loot. You can look at, like, all that stuff is there. You can just literally search it up and then launch it from that tab. But what I'm not trying to do more of a menu gameplay. I'm just, how can we make it so the world still is useful while also making it easier for anyone to find and identify end game content? A search filter system. Type in raids. It blackens out everything or grays out everything except the nodes that have raids. You click the nodes, bam, there's your raid. Everything else is blackened out or grayed out except for the raid node. Easy peasy. Like it literally making life easy. You're not taking away the identity of the world. At the same time, you're not doing more menu fucking gameplay. You're just literally going to a filter, clicking a button that says raids. Boom. That's it. This, again, it seems a lot of fucking effort. You could do this with just a filter system. The only thing that makes sense is a seasonal tab for just seasonal content. Especially if it's rotating in and out activities. If every last one of these was a new like a returning seasonal thing, like a perfect example is maybe there's a PvP node that's just, you know what? I still don't agree. I think PvP, Gambit, it has its own fucking node. All this has none of this shit should be here. However, seasonal, if you want to have a seasonal that has how the portal is and its activities that won't actually have a space in the world because it's going in and out, that makes sense. But none of this makes sense. None of this fucking makes sense. Only thing that makes sense is seasonal. This is just extra, just random bullshit. It's just trying to save the portal for some nonsensical reason. Just get rid of the fucking portal.
Game Ops will feature a list of several raid and dungeon activities that can be farmed for bonus drops, including full clears, boss rushes, and pantheons, where this time the selection refreshes weekly.
Okay, first off, Boss Rush, Raid Pantheon. I think that's great. I think that's great. Now, do we need a portal option for this? Or could you just put it in the Legends tab? Put all the raid shit in its own destination, like King's Fall can go here. You could make a tab for Venus and it's just the raid. And if they ever go back to Venus, which I think we should, like you could take everything that's in the Legends and make its own spot. Like 0 Hour could literally go into the EDZ or whatever. The Earth is what it should be called. You can make a, IOT spot and put Whisper in there. Like there's just all the shit. Like all this could be condensed. Mars is eventually going to be its own planet again. And just use Legends for like stuff, seasonal stuff or rotating stuff like Pantheon, which, let's be honest, you're being very hopeful that Bungie will ever bring Pantheon back. That is the most hopeful copium I have ever seen.
Day one logistics. In my mind, this category would refresh its offerings every 6 months alongside each new season.
This I'm all for this, by the way. This makes sense. This right here, complete sense. For older shit. I still think that the newer seasons should have a hub that is part of the world like we used to have. I think that was fine. But for returning shit like Savathûn Spire, all that stuff that rotates in and out, I think this makes sense. Yeah. All right, let's continue on.
And the major update within said season would add its own activities to the mix. This graphic shows a mixture of Reclamation Act 1 activities, including the Civ and Caldera, as well as from Act 2 Ash and Iron, like all 3 Reclaims and Heliostat. This category would also allow the user to toggle between Act 1, Act 2, or all activities within it as a way of having a clean and manageable UI experience.
This is too confusing. It's menu gameplay, first off. Secondly, you've got to treat people like they're retards. No one's gonna like this shit. Just have it all fucking, first off, remove all the fucking DLC expansion bullshit. That's not seasonal. Like, the Sieve is not fucking seasonal. Move that shit out. Heroic Patrol Rush, move that shit out. The exotic mission shouldn't ever, that should not rotate out. Exotic missions and raids and dungeons should never be on rotation. The seasonal events, in my opinion, sure, rotate that shit out. But exotic missions should always stay. Except Heliostat. That shit can go. No one likes that shit. Get rid of it. You can rotate that out. That's fine. Realistically, there should just be very minimal activities, because most of the activities we had, like, I'm trying to think, a good example is Heresy. You had the Nether, which was a public space technically. You had Court of Blades. You had, what else do we had the Sunless Cell. That was it. 3 things. That means there should be 3 options in the seasonal ops, and that's it. Like, you're overstuffing, overfluffing, like Reclamation, Ash and Iron. Let's be honest. Reclamation didn't have any fucking activities, so shoving Caldera, like, that's not seasonal, that's an expansion. I know these are all examples, but, like, I'm telling you, remove the bullshit, make it simple, stupid, and that's, like, how you have to treat it with people. You have to keep it simple.
Fireteam Ops returns in its current...
By the way, I'm not going to watch the full thing, because it looks like he's talking about the same shit that I've already said.
Current form and consists of a list of 3
I just want to see.
Can be farmed for both.
I just want to react to how he wants to fix it. Like the rewards, that's a different, like, quality of life, like all this shit. That is a different video. I just want to see why he thinks it's bad and how you can fix the presentation of it. Like, that's the big thing. Look, everything that he's talking about, it seems like you could just fucking replace without the portal. Like everything after this, you don't need the portal.
Bonus drops and a daily bonus focus. Though the key difference to the current iteration of Fireteam Ops we have is that my version now includes 6-player Fireteam activities like Dares of Eternity, the Menagerie, or even Escalation Protocol as seen in this graphic.
But you don't need to do that. You can just go to the fucking node and click on it, and it does the same fucking thing. Like, again, I don't know the whole concept of menu gameplay. People don't fucking understand the presentation. It's a nice idea. No one fucking likes it. It is just a shitty idea because the main reason people didn't like the portal is because it's menu gameplay. And you're still continuing on, hey guys, here's more fucking menus. You're clicking on a thing. So here's the thing. You're clicking on a menu to then access a menu. Let's go into it. You click this to then get access to a fucking menu, to then click on another fucking menu, to then have to decipher multiple fucking nodes. You can't see it. The different fucking nodes, here. Like you're taking something that was hated and overcomplicating it for no fucking reason. Like I like that he's like, I've seen this where it explains the breakdown and you get checkpoints. Like, I've seen some of the comments on Twitter. Like, this is great, but you don't need the portal. Like, that's great too. Again, this is a perfect example. You don't need the portal. You can achieve your completion, your bonus drops. It can just be part of the world. Like, overall, like, absolutely, I agree with the fundamental aspect of what he's saying, like putting the shit into the world itself. I do want to see this, though. I absolutely want to see
the
what
last part of my rework concerns a selection of key quality of life improvements that I believe would make the experience of interacting with the portal a whole lot smoother, with the first major change being the removal of the ability to choose your own modifiers. A little bit dramatic, I know, but stick with me here. While yes, it does...
I don't agree.
Sound nice in theory to be able to tailor the activities to your preferences, it ultimately leads to choosing the same 4 or 5 modifiers for every single activity.
You're right, but you're right, but with the wrong reasons. People choose the easiest modifiers to get a fucking score. That's it. They'll choose the easiest negatives with whatever bonuses they can get to get the score. If you remove the fucking score system and it's based on the difficulty itself, and again, you make it a system where you're forced to have to take a boon, you take a bane, and then you take bane's or whatever other modifier. You have to choose, and it's your choice, but you choose a negative, a positive, and whatever else shit, right? You force that, but it's your choice, and it's at the difficulty, and you can have some preset modifiers that are already part of it. Like if you want the shitty token system, like that can be a part of it, a time system, whatever, right? That will give people the flexibility to at least choose how they want to play, give them agency without also making it to where they're just choosing this. And here's the thing, if they want to choose the same shit over and over again, that's their choice. But this is really this is the problem. This shit right here, that right there, that's the problem.
That secures the path of least resistance when it comes to ensuring score and reward quality, which also adds yet another step in between choosing said activity and actually launching it, which is especially demoralizing on update days with new content where you want to just jump straight in and get some gear, but your excitement is immediately halted because you need to rack your brain about which modifiers to use and so on. And
again, that problem is solved by removing the shitty score system. Remove the fucking score system, and it removes you having to think. It removes the stress, like, oh, how am I going to one of the biggest reasons people hate this fucking menu is because of this fucker here. This is the problem. You see the big ass red arrow? This is the fucking problem. This isn't the problem. No one cares. This is not the problem. People aren't upset about this. They're upset about this shit and this number here. Sorry, chat, you're going away for 2 seconds. This number being right here, being determined by this fucking shit here, that's what people don't like. Get rid of this, and make this tied to this, and this number is just by playing the fucking game. You take this number and you just play the fucking game, and it slowly goes up to where then you can go to the next level. This goes up naturally playing the game, and then you go up here based on your levels, and then this goes up tier-wise based on this. But this shit and this shit, that's why people hate this shit. The biggest issue is this asshole with that asshole. Get rid of that ass and the world's a better place. Simple enough. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to know why people fucking hate it.
Activity and actually launching it, which is especially demoralizing on update days with new content where you want to just jump straight in and get some gear, but your excitement is immediately halted because you need to rack your brain about which modifiers to use and so on, and as such, the feature needs to go. My system takes us back to pre-selected modifiers.
I think I did a good job explaining that is not the case.
That, for the sake of variety, rotate on a weekly or daily basis depending on the activity or node, and while we're at it,
this is a horrible fucking idea. And I think a perfect example is how they used to do locked loadouts, like specific loadouts for raid layers. People fucking hated that. And you had no control. You may have to do may have to do like AR. You may have to do some other bullshit. And it was a horrible experience. If you're telling me that I want to do a raid, but I can't do it because the fucking modifiers suck dick. They're just awful. Like it's Brawler. Brawler is in the fucking vault of glass. And I'm having to punch every fucking thing to stay alive. Fuck that. I want complete agency. And if you're going to force modifiers, you tell me I have to take a negative or multiple negatives. I would rather have the choice of which negative and which positives I get. This is awful. And it leads to the awful experience that matchmaking has. It's awful. Do not do like Matchmake already has that. But if you are playing with people, you're playing your own, it should not be random. You should have complete agency. The system was fine. You just have to tune it. And one of the ways to tune it is this little sneaky bitch right here.
Let's remove the scoring system too, and instead tie the quality of the rewards we get to the actual difficulty of the activity itself. Activity difficulty selection should be simple to understand and simple to apply. And I just know that I would much prefer having it so higher difficulties, like Ultimate, always drop tier 5s, and easier difficulties, like Expert or Master, always drop lower tiered gear, though still have a small chance to improve the tier up to a tier 5. I'm still a believer that each unique difficulty should be locked behind power progression though, so higher tier gear remains being tied to power in a way, but more so to unlock the method of getting them. Speaking of power, in an effort to retain some level of activity customization and reward players who climb to higher power levels, I want to propose a solution that achieves both the goal of increased player agency and reduced friction when launching a given activity. Enter the Boon Selector. The Boon Selector is a new submenu within the portal that unlocks once you hit power be applied to any
when I look at this system, this whole boon system that is overly complicated, just reaching like all this whole shenanigans. This is my immediate thought here. Oh shit, you can't hear it. Fuck, I hate this. Wait, was it? Does it? All right, technical difficulties. Here it is.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
By the way, this is for the episode the episodes, but same system. That's how I feel about it when I look at this. It's like, what the fuck is this pile of shit? Again, just make it simple, stupid. Like you just keep. That's the thought process. Keep it simple. There's nothing wrong with this system where you just select the boons. Why do you need multiple fucking shit? It's overcomplicating it. It makes no fucking sense. Why are we overcomplicating it?
Getting them. Speaking of power, advantages or have some more fun in whatever activity you play, including raids and dungeons, by the way. For example, your loadout could consist of something like Solar Surge, Grappler, and Brawler to fully enhance a Solar Titan bomb.
Again, I don't understand why we need an entire fucking other menu for this. It could be together. It's like, again, it's just I don't understand people who try to, their solution is, hey, let's take this thing that people fucking hate and make it more convoluted and more shittier. Let's continue to progress the thing that people continue to complain about, which is the menu gameplay, and let's continue to make it more convoluted. Let's give new players more shit that they have to try to figure out. Let's give veterans who just want to freaking load a fucking game more menus they have to siphon through. Like, all of this just fucking stupid.
Ways intended. It's just and more.
Yeah, I like about 50% of this video. The other 50% is just worse than what we fucking have. It's just fucking ass. Like, I like the idea of putting this stuff back into the game, updating the stuff. I like the whole keeping the stuff relevant, but the whole needing the portal. Like, why are we trying to keep the fucking portal? It can be just a seasonal hub with the seasonal shit and call it a fucking day. And then the whole, like, guys, we need to get rid of we need to get rid of being able to have player agency modifiers, but we're going to get rid of that and make it an entirely separate fucking system for boons. But we're going to keep this little asshole. We're going to keep this, which is the problem. I just don't understand why. I don't understand, man. People are trying their damnest. Like, even Scarrow was trying desperately to be like, hey, we need to keep the portal. You don't fucking need to keep the portal. Get rid of the fucking portal. And by the way, when you click on the activity, you can just do this. Like, this is fine. This is fine. This is not. People are okay with this if they don't have to worry about this shit. Telling people choose a boon, choose a bane, choose whatever, and it's your choice to play the fucking game. That's great. Remove this bullshit. That's my thought. Boom. Problem solved. I need to make a video to make this the most simplest fucking solution. I don't know why everyone's trying to make the most convoluted bullshit possible. Why do we make everything so, like, this is Bungie thinking. This is Bungie thoughts, which is the reason why we're in this problem we are at right now, is that we're trying to overcomplicate the bullshit. We don't need menu fucking gameplay. This is great. I love this. Makes complete sense. You don't need more menus. You just need a fucking filter system. There you go. And you know what? New players, they just need what Warframe has, which is a decent new player experience that guides you along, that tells you play it kind of like how we have timelines, but a more souped up version of the timeline that is just more, instead of having a separate tab for timelines, it's literally just the fucking world itself. Like, you have a timeline, you start in Earth, and then you go to the tower, and then it has a little trail that you can go here, or you go to here. Like, you go to the next story or the world, and you go along the world. You experience it in a set path, or you just choose to opt out and skip it and you're free. But the new player experience can be made very simply, very easily, in the same vein that Warframe. Now, is Warframe's new player experience perfect? Absolutely not. But I would say it's better than Destiny's. And I think there's other games that you could also copy. But the fact that you have to rely on a fucking a separate menu to then get in a menu to then get into another fucking menu is not how you get people excited to play a new game. Or they go to the Destiny for the first time, or they return to Destiny. I don't want to hit menu to menu to menu. I just want to click a fucking world, jump into the world, and play the fucking activity. That's my thoughts. Again, not shitting on Llama directly, just the idea, the concept it's not good. This is awful. It's just awful, 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 awful. It's just convoluted. It makes things more annoying than it needs to be. This shit could be, again, you don't need Gambit. It has its own tab. Like, I don't understand it. So I don't agree with 50% of this, but that's okay. Because the reality is Bungie's not going to take a damn word I say or what Llama says anyways. They're just going to do where the fuck they want. But that's the nice thing about making these videos. We can put our opinions out and see. You know, it's like throwing a dart at the wall and seeing which one Bungie actually takes part and listens to. But 9 out of 10 times, Bungie don't give a fucking shit. They don't fucking care. Let's be honest. They don't care. At the end of the day, that's the reality, right? We could just have a conversation. But there's multiple ways to make the game better. Maybe I'll make my own video. I'll save Destiny. Don't worry. I'll make a video. I'll save Destiny. It's been an hour-long video about the portal. I think I'm going to make a video killing the portal and saving Destiny. I'll do it. That's right. I'll be fucking Thanos. I need to order a Thanos glove. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to put some detail into it. I'm going to make a script. I will fucking be Thanos, and I will save the goddamn galaxy. That's how that's right. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them. You're absolutely right, James. Everyone has an asshole. Well, some people have multiple assholes, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I don't know what I mean. That's the end of the video. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. As always, don't forget to game out.